National Cohesion and Integration Commission has been dealing with these utterances. You'll remember that they're the line agency when it comes to bringing the nation together. Is Francis Ole Kaparo, who is the chair of the same. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on board. You know, in this particular instance, the Commission has written to the DPP and asked, that the bail terms issued to Moses Kuria in, I think for a similar case, be withdrawn. But up until this point, NCIC has been seen as a well-meaning body lacking teeth. What would you say is concrete evidence of what you have done?
Well, NCIC wasn't created just for hate speech. I think we must make this absolutely clear. We have done in the last 10 months I've been in office a lot of things to reconcile communities, beginning with Moyale, Mandera, Nandi and the Cabras, and the Turkanas and the Pokot from Kapedo, and recently the Samburu and the Turkana in Baragoi, and also in Isiolo, among other many places. So we've done quite a lot, and most of the time is not visible. And I'm told by the regional commissioner, since we made the intervention between the Turkana and the Bokot after the massacre of Nadome, there used to be 2 deaths every day. For the last 1.5 months, there has not been a single death.
And so a lot of your pride comes from your ability to go around the country and talk to communities and help them talk to each other again. Yeah. And I do concede to that, but I'm asking specifically on the question of hate speech, because we are also nearing another electioneering cycle. IEBC has today released a calendar of events, and so to hear such sentiments expressed so close to the start of heavy politicking is worrying.
Well, I'm very worried too. I share your sentiments. I think we must do a lot more than we are doing. But like everything else in Kenya, we create a commission and forget about it immediately after that. You will recall this commission was created as part of Agenda 4. So it was actually an imposition by the mediator, Kofi Annan.
Right.
Now this commission has been starved of funding. We have a very bare staff, everybody included. We have a staff of less than 50 to serve the whole country. This would include the professional staff, the secretaries, the drivers, the security, the tea makers, and all. So definitely we are far from having a staff complement that can do what must be done.
But
secondly, hate speech is mainly these days done in the internet, either in the Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, and such like things. This is what is called cybercrime. It is a fairly new criminal regime in Kenya, and there aren't many people properly trained and qualified to do this.
Perhaps let me rephrase my question, sir. It is this, that when it comes particularly to political leaders, because I think if you're talking about cybercrime, we have seen bloggers get the full brunt, if you like, or extent of the law, and many of them are facing various charges in courts. But when it comes to political leaders, and when the NCIC brings these cases forward, we haven't seen NCIC ask for anything like a jail term or something more concrete. What we hear coming from the Commission in its pleas to the court is, let us have these people issue perhaps apologies or go back and do time in communities, trying to bring them together, but nothing that sends a strong message as being behind bars. Why is that?
Can I make a correction?
Please.
Nothing of the sort has happened in my time. I came into the commission in August last year, and between August last year and now, no politician has been asked to apologize and go scot-free. None. Even the case pending for Honorable Moses Kuria was taken to court long before I became chairman. But the fact of the matter is that these utterances that incite the public against fellow citizens are matters that must be dealt with firmly and swiftly. And I have attempted to advance that course yesterday, after I saw from television the utterances of the Honorable Moses Kuria. I wrote to the Inspector General of Police asking him to do quick and thorough investigation, and I copied my letter to the Director of CID on my own code. I also wrote to the Director of Public Prosecution asking him to review, to take an application to court to withdraw the bond, to cancel the bond of Honorable Moses Kuria, which in fact, to his credit, the DPP replied to me the same day, informing me that he has already filed an application in court to cancel the bond, and he has also directed the Director of Criminal Investigation to carry out investigation. I did also write to court. I wrote to the Chief Justice, because this matter and other political or hate speech matters delay forever in courts. And I wrote to the Chief Justice asking that matters of this nature should be dealt fairly quickly, so that, you know, the sense of impunity does not take root. And perhaps this is to your credit, like you've rightly mentioned, you know, you are relatively new in office, and perhaps this may be a test case for NCIC under your leadership. Time will tell. But finally, again, as I mentioned earlier, getting close again to another election cycle, what would your call be first, I would say, to Kenyans, in an environment that seems very polarizing, where dissenting opinions don't seem to be received very well, and that a lot more matters are being viewed through narrow ethnic lenses? What would you say to my viewers? Well, there are two other things that I've done. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and then answer my question. This morning. This morning, please go ahead. I wrote to all Secretary Generals of all political parties. Right. Demanding of them to ensure that their supporters and their leaders do not engage in matters hate speech or do not incite Kenyans to violence. They are obligated to do so under the law and under the Constitution. So they will get my letter tomorrow. The second thing I have done is that there were also other politicians, other MPs, who responded to the incitement by Moses Kuria, also inciting others to counter whatever would follow the incitement of Mr. Kuria. Now, let me make this clear. There is no defense of inciting because somebody else has incited. Who are you referring to specifically? I'm sure the press covered some politicians. It was also brought to my attention today by members of the press, and I'm looking for the clip. Are you referring to the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, who made in reference to this? He's not alone. He's not alone. So his sentiments to you were also insightful. Yes, he too. And you know, for him, he bears a much greater responsibility than an ordinary MP. He is a president in waiting. He has been our prime minister. He is a leader of a major political party. He has a greater responsibility. And I would expect, in fact, I look towards him as the president of the Republic of Kenya and his deputy and other political parties to be my allies in bringing this nation together, not to polarize them. Right. We must wind up there. I suppose I'll let my other questions slide, but I certainly thank you for coming to studio and for speaking to us. Thank you too. Francis Ole Kaparo, the